Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana 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 Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यथारूप की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्री वृंदावन धाम की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 2, Contents of the Gita summarized and text 33. Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimanyaihi Shastra Vistaraihi Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmad Vinisrita. Text 33. Atha tvam imam dharmyam saṅgrāmam na kariṣyasi tataḥ sva-dharmam kīrtiṁ ca hitvā pāpam avāpsyasi atha tvam imam dharmyam saṅgrāmam na kariṣyasi tataḥ sva-dharmam kīrtiṁ ca hitvā pāpam avāpsyasi atha tvam imam dharmyam saṅgrāmam na kariṣyasi tataḥ sva-dharmam kīrtiṁ ca hitvā pāpam avāpsyasi saṅgrāmam atha tvam imam dharmyam saṅgrāmam na kariṣyasi tataḥ sva-dharmam kīrtiṁ ca atha, therefore, chet, if, tvam, you, imam, this, dharmyam, as a religious duty, saṅgrāmam, fighting, na, do not, kariṣyasi, perform, tataḥ, then, sva-dharmaṁ, your religious duty, kīrtiṁ, reputation, cha, also, hitvā, losing, pāpam, sinful reaction, avāpsyasi, will gain. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Purport. Arjuna was a famous fighter and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including even Lord Śiva. After fighting and defeating Lord Śiva in the dress of a hunter, Arjuna pleased the Lord and received as a reward a weapon called pāśupata-astra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Droṇācārya gave him benedictions and awarded him the special weapon by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adoptive father Indra, the heavenly king. But if he abandoned the battle, not only would he neglect his specific duty as a kshatriya, but he would lose all his fame and good name and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not by fighting, but by withdrawing from battle. Om ajñānatimirandhasya jñānāṅjanashalakaya chaksharan militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vāṅcā kalpatarubhyashta kripa sindhubhyaiva ca patitānaṁ pāvanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, would like to welcome all the devotees in today's discussion of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 2. And I seek the blessings of all the devotees here. I was just thinking this morning of ahituki kripa, mercy which is unmotivated. And then I was thinking of ahituki bhakti, bhakti or devotion performed without any motivation. So the devotee performs ahituki bhakti or unalloyed, as Prabhupada says, unmotivated bhakti, and on the other hand, Krishna bestows his unalloyed or unmotivated kripa or mercy. So both ways it's ahituki or ahituka, without any motivation. That's why it's called prema, the reciprocation of love. The 6 symptoms as given by Srila Rupa Goswami: dadati, pratigrihnati, guhyam akhyati pruchhati, ityadi. So all those 6 symptoms of love, they are performed not for any material gain, but just out of love. It's just love. I mean, feeding someone, what will one gain by feeding someone else? I mean, it's just love, right? One becomes happy, one becomes pleased, seeing the person getting satiated, getting pleased, just love, just ahituki. So both ways it's unalloyed and unmotivated reciprocation. So similarly, devotees are also very merciful, and their mercy also increases when they advance in devotional service, and they become more and more and more unmotivated in all their acts, whether it be devotion, whether it be association with the devotees, or whether it be just normal dealings with people even. They are not self-centered and they are not motivated. Why? Just like Krishna is apta kama or purna kama, he is complete. Krishna has nothing to gain. He doesn't want anything in his life so that he become happy from outside. He's himself satisfied, is very much complete. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam says that even the devotees of the Lord are also apta kama or purna kama. They are also self-satisfied by the process of devotional service, and they do not want anything from outside to get satisfied or pleased. So devotees, they are also having the same nature of the Lord. So in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam and the scriptures, they say that as we increase in our bhakti devotional life, we become similar to the God, or we become similar to the Lord. In what sense? In quality, right? Of course, minutely, we remain separate. The existence remains there eternally. But quantitatively, we become one in various aspects, and this is one of those aspects. That we, the jivas, we become ahituki or ahituka. All our efforts, all our dealings, one is like one is the input and another is the output. Anything we execute, anything a pure devotee executes will be unmotivated. No sense gratification at all. So when there is prema, love of Godhead, then the devotee, he wishes to satisfy the senses of the Lord. What is the verse? Krishna indriya priti vancha tarabale prem. To satisfy the senses of the Lord, that is called prema or love. Similarly, for Krishna, bhaktendriya priti vancha, for him tarabale prem. For Krishna also, to satisfy the senses of the devotees is love. Krishna is called Hrishikesh. Someone was just discussing after the Hindi Bhagavad Gita class regarding the names of Hrishikesha, Gudakesha and so on. Hrishikesha means the Lord of senses, right? Krishna is the Lord of all the senses, all our karmendriya, jnanendriya, knowledge acquiring senses and so on. So he is also the owner, the proprietor, the controller of speech, right? Speech is also one of the senses to speak. Now when Arjuna instructed Krishna, Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapaya me achyuta, that O Achyuta, O Lord, O Krishna, O Madhava, please, park my chariot amidst both the armies, right? It was an instruction. So the Acharyas comment that although the Lord is Hrishikesha, he is the controller of all the senses, but due to prema, due to the love of the devotees, Krishna came under the control of the sense of speech of Arjuna. Krishna came under the control of the sense of speech of Arjuna, although he is the controller of all the senses of all living entities. So that's called prema. Right? So Krishna Indriya Priti Vancha, Tara Bole Prem, that's for us, for the devotees. And for Krishna, Bhaktendriya Priti Vancha, Tara Bole Prem. How beautiful. So prema, or unalloyed, unmotivated devotion or act is what is the ideal which all of us are aspiring for, or we should aspiring for, or what we are looking to achieve. But in our conditioned state, now there is no tinge of prema left, right? We are devoid of prema. Premahina. There is no prema, there is no tinge or trace of prema in us. I mean, it's there. One of the seniors, he was explaining that the kama, the lust within us, is nothing but the perverted reflection of prema only. That's why we see amongst all the enemies, kama, krodha, lobh, lust, anger, greed, and so on, lust is the most powerful, right? Lust, kama is the most powerful. Why? Because prema is most powerful. Because love in its original form for Krishna is the most powerful thing or feeling. That's why when it gets perverted, that potency still remains. So that's why the lust is also the most powerful enemy considered. And that's why kama esha, and then krodha follows, krodha esha. It's not krodha first and kama second, no. Kama first, krodha second, and then ityadi, asakti, ityadi. So that's why when we don't have the trace of love within us being conditioned, then comes the motivation to perform actions. There are various motivations, right? We perform an action out of, let's say now we all are here in the Gita class. Some of us might have come in order to please Krishna. That okay, if I attend the katha of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the narrations, Krishna will be pleased. That's the ideal thing. The second motivation could be, okay, if I attend and hear the pastimes or the narrations of Gita, I will get purified. And that's also fine. That's also a good motivation. But compared to pleasing Krishna, a bit, I won't say inferior, but we can understand, right? And then the third level could be, maybe someone has forced us, some authority that you have to attend. So it becomes a duty. So various levels of performing the same action. Like 10, 12 years ago, when I just started chanting 16 rounds and everything. So one thing clicked to me initially, that whether it be a new devotee or a senior devotee or a pure devotee or a paramahansa, all of them externally they are performing the same activities, devotional activities. They perform the same shravana, they perform the same chanting, japa, right? Deity worship. All the activities are the same. What is the difference? The mood, the quality. the consciousness, the feelings, the emotions. And Prabhupada says in one of the purports of Bhagavatam, very nice, that with spiritual intelligence, the spiritual realm becomes magnified. So, as we gain this spiritual intelligence, the spiritual knowledge and everything, then we can magnify, we can penetrate into the mysteries of devotion. And that's why we are here in Bhagavad Gita classes, the sessions of Bhagavatam, and so many sessions going on, right? Nityam. It's actually good. Srimad Bhagavatam says Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Now, Nityam could be translated as daily, right? But in ISKCON at least, Nityam, devotees are supposed to be doing, or they are doing 2 sessions, right? Bhagavatam and Gita. You know, so this is also like one step further. I mean, Nityam could also mean each and every moment. That's also one of the meaning possible. But let's say daily basis, like we should hear Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam and Gita, so twice, so like a double dose. Okay, you hear Bhagavatam and you hear Gita, and then you understand tatvatah. What's the verse? Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah. Krishna didn't say purnatah. To understand Krishna completely is not possible for Krishna himself. That's why, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's not even, able to understand himself properly, completely. He sees himself in the mirror, or let's say a stone or a pillar. He sees his reflection and he's amazed. He's stunned. Oh, who is this boy? Who is this person? And he becomes attached or attracted towards his own form. I mean, we also get attracted to our form sometimes. Let's say we are getting ready for some event and we dress up nicely and we go in front of the mirror and we become amazed and attracted to our own selves for a bit, for a moment, let's say. Not for too long. Until and unless the makeup goes off. But Krishna, his attraction towards himself is on another level. It's not our attraction towards ourselves. So, janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah. Krishna didn't say purnatah. No one can understand him completely. That's why he said in truth. So, when we understand in truth, then we increase, then we develop, then we evolve. So, the point is, being at the conditioned state of life, we don't have any trace of love. We should believe it and we should accept it. We don't have. I mean, that's a true fact. So there are different motivations in performing any action. Our sva-dharma. I was thinking of this word sva-dharma in the verse. If you see, tataḥ sva-dharmam kīrtiṁ cha ityādi. In the first chapter, Arjuna gave a point, an argument. He was conscious of the kula dharma, right? Jati dharma and kula dharma, the family traditions. That if I fight, Arjuna said, then there will be varna sankara, unwanted population. And because of the rise in unwanted population, the woman will be polluted, and then ultimately all the family traditions and all, they will be vanished. Kula dharma nashyante. So he was thinking of kula dharma, he was aware and he was worrying about the traditional rituals and everything. But Krishna is saying, what about your sva-dharma? You're putting your sva-dharma, your own duty on stake for the family tradition, which comes second. One's own dharma comes first, one's own duty comes first, and then comes the traditional, the family traditions. So Krishna is saying, you're worrying about kula dharma, what about your own dharma? What about your own prescribed duty, being a Kshatriya? So you should consider your own dharma first and then you should consider all the others. Now, one more good question. In the first chapter, Arjuna said that if I fight, then he gave many reasons, many unwanted things which would happen or which could happen. For example, Varna Sankara, unwanted population, women will be polluted, the vanishing of the family traditions, ityadi, and so on. Now, the point is, he actually fought, right? He actually fought the battle. So, did all of those kind of prophecies which Arjuna made, did they come true? Did they come true? Was there a Varna Sankara after the battle? You got the point? You got the question? Arjuna raised so many questions, the arguments, that if I fight, then all of these things will happen. And he actually fought. So after the battle, did all of those things happen? No. There was no Varna Sankara. There was no unwanted population. There was no pollution of the woman, the deterioration of the family tradition. No. Why? Because of the good rule of King Yudhishthira. So it also means and it also proves that all of those arguments which were in the mind of Arjuna, they were somehow based on his own self-interest, and it was not out of love and out of duty. Because he actually fought and nothing of that sort happened, which he kind of told. So the point is, we don't have love, so we are motivated by different factors to perform an action. And Krishna is saying that if you do not perform your action, you do not fight, then pāpam avāpsyasi, you will obtain sin. 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, when Kansa was about to kill Devaki, right? So Vasudeva was thinking, what could I do to save my wife? And instantly, because Kansa grasped the hairs and another hand the sword, and he was about to kill Devaki. So the Vasudev, so he just had some fraction of seconds to stop him. So nowadays no lawyer, no advocate can do that. What Vasudeva did. So he should be an ideal for all the lawyers and advocates. So one of the point he said to Kansa, the same pattern, that if you kill Devaki, who is a stree, a woman, who is your sister and who just got married. She's a woman, she's your sister, and on top of that she just got married. If you kill her, then you will lose all your fame. Vasudeva also gave the same reasons. You will lose your fame and you will attain sin. Of course, there is no comparison of Arjuna and Kansa. I don't mean to do that. But the point is the way. So, sva-dharmaṁ danda bhed. So, there are 4 ways how one can persuade someone to do an act. Sva-dharmaṁ danda bhed. So, this is like danda, the third method. That if you do not perform your act, then you will attain sin. You will incur sin, and that's like a bhed or danda, sorry. Because sin will lead to hell, and in hellish planets we don't enjoy. we suffer. So that's danda, right? That's punishment. And then Yamaraj will handle you. So Vasudeva also gave the same statement that you will lose your fame, you will attain sin, and ultimately you will suffer. So these are the methods. Because if someone has the mentality of profit and gain, sakama karma buddhi, if one has the intelligence of sakama karma, performing action for gains, such a person cannot be instructed through the medium of love. No one can instruct him, oh Prabhu, oh gentleman, that you should love your act, perform. No. He has to be taught a lesson in which he must be able to observe some gain or some loss. So Krishna is showing Arjuna that that's your loss if you do not fight your battle. Because Arjuna at this point of time is not at that point of love or even duty. So he's on the point of fear. So Krishna is using that, or Krishna is instructing accordingly as per Arjuna's level, that you will incur this loss, you will be suffering in the hell, you will gain sin. So you should not leave your duty. You should not leave your duty. Right? So that's why atha tvam imam dharmyam saṅgrāmaṁ na kariṣyasi tataḥ sva-dharmam kīrtiṁ cha hitvā pāpam avāpsyasi. The verbs here, kariṣyasi, avāpsyasi, they are all in future tense. That if you give up, then you will attain. So they are all in future tense. It means Arjuna has not given up. Arjuna said that Guruna hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyah bhoktum bhakshamapi haloke, that it would be better if I just beg alms rather than killing my own kinsman. So he just spoke. He didn't go actually. He didn't leave the battlefield now. So Krishna is saying, if you leave, then you will attain. So all present tense, future tense going on. So Arjuna has not taken that step because he's being instructed by Krishna, and Krishna is the able guide. Karnadhara ivaranavam. As Srimad Bhagavatam says, just like a boatman, the navik. So just as the boatman, he makes the people cross, right, the ocean. Similarly, Krishna, Parikshit Maharaj says that he made my family men, Pandavas and all, to cross Dustaram, that very difficult Sagar, Sanya Sagaram, the soldiers or the armies of Kurus, the Kauravas. So Krishna is the able guide, and Krishna is actually the most able guide. The most able guide. Vancha Kalpataru doesn't only apply to devotees. Vancha Kalpataru first of all applies to Krishna. Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. Krishna is the only one who maintains everyone's desires. Everyone's desires. But for the devotees, not just desires, whatever devotee desires, he will sanction and he will himself fulfill that. Because for other people, as per the karmas and the reactions and the cycle of karma, he offers, right? He awards whatever fruits or phalas are there. But for the devotees, whatever devotee would desire, everything Krishna will have to actually. He's bound by love to fulfill. So Krishna is the most able guide one can have. In the previous verse, there was a word, Yadrichaya chopapannam. The translation goes, O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come without asking, unsought. Like the Brahmanas, for us being devotees, many devotees, they are very fired up, to preach in their countries, in their places and so on. And sometimes they do not get those opportunities to preach Krishna consciousness, and they try very hard so that they can have some people to talk to, or some people they can try to attract, and then they can preach. They try very hard, and sometimes there are some devotees, they just get a call, oh Prabhu, will you speak, will you give a seminar? And he's sitting in his room. The point is, the other devotee wasn't even seeking to preach. It came unsought, without even asking. So, both are okay. Both the devotees, ultimately they are preaching and they are performing their act which is pleasing to Krishna. But the point is, on the one hand, one is putting an effort intentionally to gain that opportunity to preach, to perform an act. And on the other hand, the other devotee is just getting it out of Krishna's will. I will say out of Krishna's will, right? Because in devotional realm, especially preaching, I mean, Krishna empowers and then only someone can preach. Preaching is what? I mean, let's say someone is gaining some fame while preaching and everything. It's just nothing. It's just Krishna sitting within the hearts of the audience or other devotees. And Krishna is inspiring those devotees to develop that faith in that senior devotee or in that devotee who's preaching. You know, it's just Krishna who's inspiring the devotees. And then the devotees, they like someone, or so everything, the super soul, Krishna is inspiring. So, yad richaya chopapannam. I very much consider this point. There was one devotee, Prabhupada disciple. So, when it was 40th anniversary of ISKCON Vrindavan in 2015, 40th anniversary. So, all the glorifications and everything, they were going on. I won't name, okay, I will, Shudi Prabhu, so Prabhupada's disciple. He was saying, mentioning a very good point, that so all the sannyasis, all the seniors, they were speaking, and then his turn came. So he was like, I didn't render as much service to Srila Prabhupada as the other sannyasis, you know, the seniors they rendered, like building temples, developing so many centers, devotees and so on. I didn't do that much. But I do not envy, he said. Something to that extent. Not exactly. I do not envy. Why? Because Krishna is equally pleased. Because when Lord Rama, he wanted to go and cross the ocean and go to Lanka, so he got that setu, the bridge, built. So both Hanumanji helped, you know, by pulling and putting big rocks, chunk of rocks. And on the other hand, the squirrels, just some sand on the body and then sprinkling. Lord Rama was equally pleased. So a very good point, that whatever activities, whatever opportunities we get, we should be happily doing them. We should be happy, first of all, for getting those opportunities. And we should be very enthusiastically performing them. Now, one more point is there. I was thinking the day before yesterday that we should also work on ourselves, on our astitva, or purification of existence, by being more Krishna conscious and so on, so that Krishna will choose us, right? He won't have to hesitate in choosing us to perform an act or a service. Because if we are not that purified, Krishna may hesitate. You got the point? If we are not that purified, our consciousness level is not that high, and we are still into materialism to some extent, then Krishna may or Krishna will hesitate in getting us to do that service, in selecting us. So we want Krishna not to hesitate while picking us, right? Do we want Krishna to hesitate while picking us? I do not wish to be. So for that we have to be more purified, we have to be very cautious and conscious each and every time. Sometimes what happens, let's say now, like when Prabhupada, before going to America, he was in Vrindavan. But he was working very hard, right? Day and night. So Krishna didn't hesitate. Krishna just picked him and the service began. There are others also. Maybe their levels are not that high or something. Or maybe Krishna might have hesitated. Right? Why only Prabhupada? Why only Prabhupada? Why not anyone else? Many devotees were there. purity. Why? Because he consciously kept and maintained and elevated himself. Even being in Vrindavan, where no one noticed him, he could have done anything else, right? So we have to keep ourselves pure. We have to keep ourselves honest, loyal. We have to keep ourselves ready every time. And the order, the instruction could come at any point of time. So we should think each and every time that Krishna shouldn't hesitate picking me up for any service he wants me to do. Sometimes some devotees, they think that I'm not being utilized properly as per my caliber. Sometimes the devotees think, even those who live in the temple or outside the temple, they think that I'm not being properly used or utilized as per my caliber. I can do this many things and those many things. But I think the right attitude should be, okay, I'll prepare myself and I'll keep myself pure, honest, loyal and ready. And whenever Krishna will call, I will be ready and I'll attempt to serve him properly. So it's just a call from Krishna. In bhakti, like Srila Prabhupada, he was a very good grihastha. And then suddenly in his dreams, his Guru Maharaj, his spiritual master comes and he says, okay, take sannyas. So the call came. The call came, right? And then the fire started. The fire ignited. So the call can come at any time. We have to be ready to receive that call. I mean, if it remains a missed call and if we do not pick it up, then what? So we have to be ready to pick that call and then answer that. Okay, I mean, there are a couple of more things to discuss, but we'll stop here. So a few points. We'll read the verse again, so and everyone can chant. Atha tvam imam dharmyam saṅgrāmam na kariṣyasi tataḥ sva-dharmam kīrtiṁ ca hitvā pāpam avāpsyasi. Translation: if, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So we'll stop here, we'll take a pause, and if anything to be discussed or asked, then you may. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
In the beginning, you said by practicing bhakti, you can develop godly qualities. But for some people, actually many people, including myself, although practicing bhakti, feel like it's not really helping me, like developing.
It's not? Okay. Just 1 second. Okay, so this is 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and text 9, one of my favorites. The translation goes, my dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. The last line, in this way, develop a desire to attain me. Krishna didn't say, in this way you will attain me. He said, in this way you will develop a desire to attain me. So there was one seminar a few years ago by Sankarshan Prabhu, The Burning Desire. The title was The Burning Desire, and it was a very nice one actually. The title itself, and the seminars, the sessions were also good. The point is, we may lose, interest, or we may get lethargic, as they say, in betweens the performance of our devotional service. Like few days we perform properly, few days we are like lethargic, a bit lazy. That's called ghana tarala. In Madhurya Kadambini, that's called ghana tarala. Sometimes it's solidified, it's like a solid, nicely we're performing, and sometimes it's very liquefied, tarala. So the answer is very simple, which I understand to this, that continuity. If we stop, then it will be an issue. So continuity, regular. Urmila Mataji, one of Prabhupada's disciple, very nice point she was saying, that try to become an observer who is indifferent to the workings of the mind. The mind will think, the mind will feel, and so on. Thinking, willing and feeling, right? Three things. The soul or the intelligence should try to become indifferent observer and consider a mind a separate entity and just observe the movements or the thinkings, the feelings going on in the mind. Just observe. Do not act. I mean, it really takes a lot to do all those things. And I think it really becomes easy when we are continuous in our performance of devotional activities. It really becomes easy. Properly chanting, reading. I mean, if you attend the morning programs, chanting, reading, shravana, association of devotees, looking the deities, the darshan and everything, all of them, they help. And all of these, like the processes of observing, being indifferent, not getting affected and everything becomes very easy. Those who are not on devotional path, for them, this is the process. Observing, different from the mind. All these techniques are also good. But they are helpful and they are complete when we are settled properly in our devotional service. And continuity, I believe, continuity is something. Continuity with good association, proper guidance. So continuity. And always thinking that I will not give up. I mean, 15 years now, or 13, 15 years I have been chanting. And there were so many instances when I felt like the same, that I'm not developing those qualities, But I was like, okay, no way. I'll keep continuing chanting. What else can we do? There is no other way. There is no other path or there is no other process even. They are all inferior. Nothing in front of devotional service. So I also thought, so I was like, okay, I will not give up and I will just try on doing it. And kind of I see the difference in me when I was like 10, 15 years ago, being a child and now. And I will certainly see a lot of a difference from now and from time to come. We will certainly see. Actually, the problem is we are not able to see the difference, but the difference is already happening. It's happening within us. If we see our previous habits, if we compare ourselves, in the reels, before and after it goes, right? Before and after. If we do ours before and after, then we'll see the difference. So I believe continuity with a good association and a good hope that we will not give it up and will keep performing. So Krishna will see, okay, this Prabhu, this Mataji, she's endeavoring, he's endeavoring. So I should help. And Krishna helps. Krishna helps. So continuity, Krishna's grace, expecting it, that Krandana, we should cry. If not literally, then within our hearts, that why am I not developing all those good qualities? Why am I still lusty? Why am I still envious, greedy, and so on? Where am I lacking? What is my mistake? Please tell. O Krishna Balram. Please tell. Please guide. Please guide. Keep praying. keep chanting, keep performing devotional activity. And I think this attitude also makes us humble. Right? I mean, if someone, Bhurijan Prabhu writes it properly in his japa book. If you read his japa book, you read that, I won't tell that. So just thinking in this way that I'm not developing good qualities, this is also one of the positive signs of development in Krishna consciousness, because humility. If someone thinks that, okay, I have developed good qualities, that's also not a good sign, right? So this is also a good sign in one way, because when we perform devotional acts, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramanand Roy, they were sitting, they were conversing, and Ramananda Roy says, "Oh Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are Radha and Krishna themselves, right? You are God himself." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very humbly replied that I am a poor fellow, I am a conditioned soul, but you are such a great person, such a great devotee, that jar dekhe tahar ishtadeva murti, that wherever you see Krishna there, and you even saw Krishna in me. Such humility. I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna, but the humility. So the devotees, they become humble. They become humble that I'm not developing those qualities. So Krishna, please help. I mean, you see Manha Shiksha by Raghunath Das Goswami, right? Raghunath Das Goswami wrote Manha Shiksha. What is Manha Shiksha? You read Prarthana, Prema Bhakti Chandrika by Narottam Das Thakur. You read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan. I mean, mostly all the acharyas, all Danya Prarthana, all the prayers of humility. I mean, Bhuliya to mare sansare achiya pe nana vidha vyatha. I mean, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that having forgotten you, O Krishna, I have come into this material world and I am suffering like anything. And then he goes on, noting down all the miseries. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he's himself saying that. He's not saying for third person or second person. Himself, first person. So all the acharyas, they exhibited that mood. And that mood makes them great, senior. Although they are all exalted devotees, but this mood is also very rare and very precious. So please keep it. Please keep it. That, I mean, doesn't mean we do not want to be elevated. We want to be elevated, but our mood should be that I am not elevated. Krishna consciousness is such. The actuality and the mood, they are somewhat different. The actuality is we become evolved, we become elevated. But our mood is like, aham ati deena. I'm very low, poor, wretched and everything. So I think keep this mood, but simultaneously work. Pray to Krishna. Contemplate, I think contemplation. Sit, chant, sit, contemplate. It works gradually. And then Krishna will call, Krishna will give a sign someday. Okay. So, yeah, this is an adventure, I believe. I mean, I hope that was okay. So, thank you very much, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaur Premanande.